What's up, everybody? We're back in Copenhagen, and this time around, we're going to be checking out some of the best restaurants and drinks this place has to offer. So we were in Copenhagen last year and did a lot of museums and touristy things, but Copenhagen is one of the great food meccas of the world with 20 restaurants that have at least one Michelin star and 24 with the Bib Gourmand distinction. So we wanted to focus on the food scene this time around. One of the first places we went to was Reffen Street Food Market. Reffen is located on an artificial island that was mainly an industrial area full of warehouses. But in 2018, it was turned into a large food market with about 50 food stalls with different cuisines from around the world. I got a pulled pork taco from Noma mess that was excellent. The meat was tender, the sauce was vibrant, although it could have been a little spicier, but in this part of the world, I don't expect a ton of spice. We relaxed in the large outdoor picnic area that included fire pits before heading out to our next stop. Next, we headed to Noma, and although we were not able to get a reservation to eat there, we explored the grounds and stopped in their shop where they sell sauces and reductions from the Noma kitchen. We sampled a few of them and picked up a variety pack. The next day we decided to get lunch at the Tolvrenhalle Market, a bustling indoor market that sells mostly fresh vegetables, fruit, meat, and seafood. They also have a few food stalls featuring traditional Danish food. I picked up 2 smørrebrød sandwiches, which is an open-faced sandwich that usually features pork or seafood. I got the very traditional Danish combo of crispy roast pork, red cabbage, and pickles. I also picked up the salmon salad, which had a hot and cold smoked salmon, onions, sour cream, and trout roe. Both are served on rye bread and were surprisingly light and refreshing. For dinner that night, we went to Barabba, a small Italian restaurant in the Old City. Jen had the fusilli with langoustine and a garlicky light tomato sauce. And I had the spaghetti with butter anchovy sauce topped with caviar. This was essentially the adult version of butter and noodles. The pasta was perfectly chewy while the caviar brought a nice salty component. The next day we got lunch at Høst Seafood. They have a few locations in the city and it's easy to see why. The food is incredible and the styling is welcoming and warm. This may honestly have been the best fish and chips I've ever had. The breading had hints of turmeric in it, which I wasn't expecting, but it worked perfectly with the other seasonings and the tartar sauce. I also had a 45-day aged Pilsner, which was delightfully funky and refreshing for a warm 70-degree day. Later that day we stopped in at Bruce, a local brewery in the Nørrebro neighborhood. I tried their standard IPA and it was everything I wanted. Not crazy hoppy, hints of citrus, and very refreshing. Jen got a rosé spritz and that was also very flavorful and light. Some quick honorable mentions. We did check out Christiana, which is essentially a hippie settlement that started in the 70s, formed around an abandoned army barracks. They only recently allowed filming in here, so I was only able to get a quick couple shots. We also checked out the Danish Architecture Museum, which featured interior and exterior designs. The main exhibit while we were there was focused on recycling and renewable building materials. They also have a rooftop with a great view. Skal is a beer-focused bar with 50 taps and over 100 bottles to choose from, so you can definitely find something you like. We also went to Funk's Venture, which is a small dive bar that Anthony Bourdain went to on Parts Unknown. Smoking is allowed inside, so be ready for that if you decide to go. War Pigs is a great Texas barbecue spot in Copenhagen that's surprisingly authentic. We were pretty jet lagged when we went there, so my thoughts were pretty simple.
I mean, it's not as good as Franklin's, but it's up there. It's better than I thought it was going to be. What?
On our last night, we went to one of my favorite restaurants called Høst. We came here last year and had to try it again. The decor is light and warm with lots of cozy spaces and nature-themed decorations. I did the 5-course tasting menu, which started with warm sourdough bread and herbed butter. I also had possibly the best gin and tonic I've ever had in my life. The gin is house-made with botanicals from their private garden. The first surprise course we had was carrots and radishes, also from their private garden, topped with salmon roe, lavender flowers, whipped goat cheese, and a Belgian waffle to spread it on. Next was scallops with pickled green strawberries, horseradish, and a herbed olive oil. The presentation was incredible and the flavor was light, not too acidic, and had a subtle ocean saltiness. The second course was baked hake with a garlic cream sauce, tomato, and shrimp. The hake was from a small island called Romo on the Danish coast. This one really surprised me as it had a distinct potato flavor to the sauce and the hake was baked to perfection. The next surprise course was a mussel soup with potato and leek broth stuffed with lemon and thyme. The next course was creamy potatoes with peas and truffle. The shavings on top are shaved truffles with Parmesan cheese mixed in. This was probably my favorite course. It was hearty, earthy, and had a perfect melt-in-your-mouth texture. Speaking of texture, next up was the main course. I went with the beef tenderloin with Madagascar peppers, green asparagus, and freeze-dried lingonberries. This was cooked evenly all the way through and was truly melt in your mouth. The combination of thyme and lingonberries was tart, while the porcini mushrooms and the sauce brought the depth of flavors together. Our pre-dessert surprise was crunchy coconut ice cream with a black currant sauce, not overly sweet, and a nice warm-up before the main dessert. The main dessert came with a tree of chocolate truffles, chocolate raspberry profiteroles, and geranium ice cream with strawberries and cold Skal. Those raspberries are actually pureed gelatin raspberries formed to look like the real thing. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching and stay tuned for more travel and food reviews.